가상에마 전에 조 전에 다냐면 더부가 주기 전에 따금 쥐숨기 전에 꼴레시아 임베레티 인두 전에냐면 더부가 주기 따금 쥐숨데 가능했으나 전에 또다 전에 조구선지 좀된 네개 전에 단다디 도팅지 잡으게 전에 까타메 그 공바 전에 자초주 콜로는 숨도 걸어wan제베 까타메 그 공바 도팅지 잡고 그 그런 숨베게 깝솔라 전에 디게 된다닝고 디 전에 아래에서나 전에 차게 챔베 된들이 그래서 혼자 인도 대 용수 배워 제발라 전에 저거 선지 좀된 대게 전에 롱기 용수 선바나 신기 잔주 선바 매도 단자암 다외슈는 대 전에 다고런 것이 감보벌레 대인도 전에 콩게 전에 배나 대다벽에 전에 까타마 노팅지 잡고 공바티 전에 조데 전에 단다티 까담베게 전에 단다 전주 그 샘롬부지 넘버 2 라 로종와당 전에 대땡돌라 작자 챔벽에 전에 단다 도팅지 잡고 공바티니 전에 되니 공자와라 때네 전에 배워는 잡아테 텔라더니 답변아 차지 챔벽 단 돌나 차지 챔부 텔라 전에 냐면 다고 가지고 따금 쥐었음도 되레스
First of all, I would like to welcome everyone here. And it's a great pleasure again to see you. Now, as you all know, that this seminar is the continuation seminar of what we talked last weekend, or previously weekend. It is seminar based upon the view, meditation, action of the incomparable Dabukajuk tradition. Generally speaking, that when Buddha Shakyamuni turned the wheel of Dharma 3 times, the final point when he turned the final wheel of Dharma, when he gave the very profound teaching on the Samadhi Raja Sutra, having given that final and the most profound teaching, which is also the very symbolic meaning, the Samadhi Raja Sutra, conveying the profound symbolic meaning of Mahamudra, acknowledge the fact that such teaching will be developed, carried on in the future by one of his very important student known as Dawe Zhenu, who is the Gambopa. And carrying such that Gambopa, according to the very prediction and that of his commitment, based upon the very tradition of the Kadamba and that of the relative and the ultimate bodhicitta, which also include within such the very essence of Mahamudra. That flourishing, the development of such teaching is very much the Mahamudra, which is also no difference from the essential meaning of the Samadhi Raja Sutra. Or it is, one could also call as the ultimate or the very final intention, the teaching of the Shakyamuni Buddha.
티 냐메 타부가 주기다 냠소게 싸와 단다 닝부데 테레 티 인두 데네 텔라 따와던 건바 쮸바스체네 텐데스 요레 암 데네 시에람 데부스체네 데네 텐데스 용고 요레스 티 인두 데손자 데네 다 카상에마 데네 다치란도 카시에 요레 카시에 요 말에 데 이네다 디게 인두 데네 디게 단다 닝분디 데네 조 데네 단다티 가중곤수 나네 되는 장군로루 타이게 송 되네 다 자기 전부 땅굴을 떼네 토네 셰버레 대인도 되네 다 제단케 당보다 시다와 텔라 되네 제단 코람 만추르베 되네 된탄베게 뭐보시 네룩제 당 되네 대모 마셰발 떼네 되네 코알라 데 트루베게 룩 니수예베 나네 되네 다 네룩세야 데 제당 된탄베게 네루라 코와다 냥엘은 데버싱엔 데 되네 니수 메바당 코와다 냥엘은 데버싱엔 데 되네 콘데 니수 메바 임바다 되네 다가 난신기 되네 여바 딱베 타다 메바 체베다 되네 딱시 로쿠르니게 타다 타와 임발라 소베 도나 되네 살동 송도 죽베란 신 데라 되네 싱외베네 룩스진 소메레 아고서 좀 코랑게 살동 송도 죽베 된데 싱외베네 룩스진 소메레스.
Now again, some of you were here in our previous weekend, and some of you have not been here in previous weekend. We have discussed in previous weekend that we'll base this view, meditation and action of this teaching upon the Doha, the Dharma song of Jamgon Kondru Lodrutaye. Based upon that, in the reign of wisdom. So, speaking on this very subject, previously we talked about the two ways of confusion, as which is which in the previously we talked about the ground Mahamudra, which I would like to speak very briefly, touch upon that, which is that we talked about the two ways of confusion, and that of the also the manner how one is being, nature is being confused, and one as it isness or as it is. So having explained the ground Mahamudra through as it is, or that of the way we are confused, then we also talked the very ground Mahamudra is that which is the ultimate is clarity, and that of the emptiness nature beyond any condition, and those were we talked about the basic or the ground Mahamudra.
베나 콘데게 니지 탈렌데 딱세 니게 타단 차웨 셈코랑 오랑신 동바다 넘버 4와 송돈 주바 간이바티 데네 사동 송주암 데네 잉리 이 시기 된텔라 데네 네룩스네 제버레스 데네 대다뷰기 사동스기 된 사동 송돈 주베게 된티 데네 마릭발라 데네 데네 마토네 데네 코라왈라 트루바텔라 데네
So once again, that the ultimate nature of mind, which is free from any condition, which is free from any condition, and which is free from the two extremes, such as the extreme of clinging to the eternalism, extremes of clinging to the nihilism. So going beyond those extremes, the ultimate
number salwam, then rangshin sawa yimbate ngoma shibala tene, then shendun zene, then tela, then lanjik marik pasaya to tunda tissigioris, then teta buki, then Southon Sundu sawa dan Dongbeg turn hamagone, then Dashin Nisun and the Sunzing Trubala tene, then the koala sujung jumata to Korva tela, then the Trubas and the shaveris.
How did we get into confusion? So from the aspect of the view of Mahamudra, that Mahamudra could be approached, presented from non-confused state of the mind and the confused state of the mind. The non-confused state of mind, as we have explained, Mahamudra is free from everything, condition, stain, fault, and free from two extremes, which is spoken from the essential nature of that very Mahamudra. Now, how did we get confused is that not recognizing the very emptiness nature of the Mahamudra, of the mind, emptiness nature of the mind, we have developed a fixation of self-existing or ego. And at the same time, the aspect of the emptiness has also the clarity. Not recognizing the clarity aspect of the emptiness, we have developed the notion of existence of others. So the whole dualistic mind developed from not understanding, not recognizing the emptiness and the clarity nature of such. Therefore, you have fixation of self and other. Since you are unable to recognize that ultimate nature, which is very much ultimate, which is the essential nature of the mind, that's how we are being confused, wandering in the samsara endlessly.
Ane tel tene konde nisu koa da nyangan leba nisun zingeyor, taksi nisun zingeyor, tene dendesten dakanji tanda tuantambe nelu til tene da hamagol den zingeyores.
Based on that confusion of the dualistic mind, then we cling to the idea of existing of samsara and nirvana. Then comes as the separation between the samsara and nirvana. Then we cling to the idea of the existing and non-existing, which is the eternalism or nihilism. So in such dualistic mind or fixation, which really leads us to the depth of confusion and duality.
This one's a Hindu, then Hindu, then tene shit tawe ki nelu de yang thang ba je hama go shi ngui bu ki ne tawe se ge ma shi ki nelu de yang thang ba ma to ne tene truba tele thowar che ba la tene kha go ge yor se na tene lam ji chage chen bu go ge yor es tene lam ke truba tele thowar che go ge yor es.
So because the ground ultimate nature not having recognized, not having understood, one has to really depend on the path Mahamudra in order to come to the understanding or the realization of the very ground Mahamudra.
Te yindu tene lam ji chagje chenpo te khaan la ngoy zenge yorasa na ta tina la songdo lam chagje chenpo serza na semyi da nangsi chagje che chene songba dres semyi da nangsi chagje che songale te sundu khaan songge yorasa na tene lam chagje chenpo seya te tanda thela zo thela khaan sige yorasa na thangbo sem khora tene semyi lenjik ke ba chuji ko 나와 현지계바 추구 신송아드레스 하고 송아 나와 현지계바 추구 신탄다티 식트는 송동아 게 하고 송아 남차게 첨부 설사나 셈니다 나시 차게체 셈 현지계바 추지고 나와 현지 개발 추구 선 송바래 대송도 현지 송기 된 송바래 현지 개발 된 송디 당부 가송도 여러서 샘코라 되네 샘니 뉴마 현지 추구 송바래 대송도 가송도 여러서 샘코라 되네 뭐 랑신 마투바 되네 동바 임바티 되네 추구인 송바래 대하고고 요 송바래 하고 송아 되네 니바 디 가송도 여러서나 되네 대라 때네 샘코라 딜라 되네 베나 나와 손도 되네 샘라 때네 나와 남바나 소바 샤르와 티 코라 되네 샘제 란단레 로스 추르바 메바 샘레 로스 추르바 메바 샘제 란단 베나 니마라 니메고 웨다고 니만다보데 샘이나 되네 나와티 되네 니메고 웨다고 임바지 다 되네 추구 소야도 된다 됐은고요 아래 되네 제손자 텔라 데네 심니다 능시 착자체스도 샘 코랑고 샘 코랑게 착자체보다 능시 착자체보스도 샘 코랑게 데네 랑단레 샤르웨게 나와데 탐체 착자체벽 되인바 착자체벽 되는스도 다 가능성고 열었으나 데네 되는 오랑신 사동 송도 주베랑신 임바데 또고고요 레송다.
In order to explain the path Mahamudra, we get to the actual Doha here, which probably you all have, page 85, as explains here that first, as for path Mahamudra, mind and the phenomenal world are Mahamudra. Co-emergent mind is Dharmakaya, co-emergent appearance is the light of Dharmakaya. The whole idea or meaning of the mind and the phenomenal world are Mahamudra, symbolizing that is an explanation of that co-emergent mind is Dharmakaya, that the essential nature of the mind being emptiness without any concrete, substantial, solid, firmness, that non-existence, that which has no form or no concreteness is the Dharmakaya, which is the very much essential nature of mind. Now, in the sense of the Dharmakaya, that the co-emergent appearance in this sense that the Dharmakaya has its own aspect, that has the capacity, that is able to provide many different appearances, many different forms, which is called as the light of Dharmakaya. Just as there is the sunshine, and the sun has its ray or light. Therefore, the very light originates from the sun. Similarly, that one cannot really separate the light and sun. Light comes or originates from very sun. Sun gives the light. Similarly, the Dharmakaya has that potential to manifest many different appearance and form, which is very much the aspect, the inseparability aspect of the Dharmakaya, one aspect of the Dharmakaya, which is again the clarity aspect of the Mahamudra. The emptiness aspect, as we talked, as no substantial, is that all appearance is possible, which is the light of the Dharmakaya.
나란 속에 샘싱에지 배나 단 샘니 당부 뒤송도 가능성고 열었으나 단대 값을 나란도 샘싱에지 직 되네 가서고라 가이나야 되네 학고통에 직단 가이나야 인토백에 배나 다 가서고라 나란도 삼나 되네 샘싱에지 나라 나란도 수분 나리 여대바지 삼고 열었어 하고송아 되네 다가 너신기 되네 다 샘디게 되네 다 니까와레 니캉바레 니딱 운담멘다레 세야드 데네 치로게 나와디 데네 샘레 로스 줄바지 하고송아 데네 샘싱에티 땅아란주 나한테 연다반다지 데네 치로게 요세온드 데네 칠리에 대반다지 대손자 인도 샘태당 치기 ngö버니 빠로라 테니 소소임바다버지 샘태게 치 ngö버든 zem바찬지레마도 텔란자와 가야메바다버지 샘싱에도 코랑코랑랑제 직체 데네 치기 ngö버디 데네 가서오래 샘레 로스 줄바지기 땅코라 근데 유jen기 그런 게르나 춥대 여반다 보지 단단 가랑 속에 쌈 디쌈니 디쌈발라 때네 때네 배나 가서 그래 다 순진이 순진네 근데스 추고요레스 디손자인도 때네 주단데 근데스 추고요레스 다무치 됐습니다.
Is that at present we have, as explained earlier, the notion of a duality, a separation. And therefore, when we speak about the idea of the mind, we feel that mind is very much within ourselves.
맨날 당분 마세베 셈싱에지 그런 유해바지 당분의 nguyên 그래서
The moment you hear the very subject of the mind, you immediately grasp to the idea existing of mind. Now, grasping to the idea of existing of mind, you also think.
간데레스나 하나도 샤쇼더버지나 믹스에게 표현더보다 샤쇼더버지나 셈싱에 닝디 셈레스게요레스. 아니 그냥서 늪쇼게 앞에서 레버랑 레스게요나 맨나 간지 셈싱에 된 거나.
Example, Eastern people immediately think the mind exists or reside in the heart.
I mean, at least
or
in
inside here, somewhere here. In Western theory, you think immediately when you talk about mind, you think in brain. So that is where the mind resides. That sort of basic clinging or grasping takes place. Regardless whether you think it is in here, in your heart, or in your brain, the whole notion is that there is a fixation of existing the mind. Therefore, when you see any outer objects, such as this pillar, beings, you separate they are different from the mind. So therefore, this duality is there. Those are others, external, and mind is internal. With that separation, you do not feel any really oneness between the object and the mind, except that meeting of your mind and object, you do agree that connection, rather than that meeting of such. Beside that, you do not feel there is no any connection. So you completely separate external things, object is different from internal mind.
대손자 인도 될 때네 대손자 되네 될 때네 되네 빼나 디근 즘바디 용거여서 친구보이나 칠 주비여서 대 인도 대손자 남지 차이대 챔비고 값솔라 가르슨 거여서나 되네 당부그 값솔라 하고송아 되네 단다 군속게 나왔는데 창마 되네 군속게 나왔는데 창마 샘을 로스 주바 멤버십 하고송아 샘을 로스 주바 멤버십 코란도 라나 소수게 ngoone 주바티 빼나 주비어 말레스 근데 샘기 나와라 되네 주비어래 빼나 간데스레스나 단다 군속게 나와잠이 빼나 치료게 나와 주바잠데 가는 때네 주비어랬으나 But the church Tamje Kora, Mo Ranshi, Maduba Indu, Tender Ganawala Tene, Truguyores. Hakosuma Yinaya, Koran the Rang, Sosu Ngone, Trubastawan in the Yomare. Panakandes Resana, then this same gay, then the Maris and the same Gesoguyores. Hakoson, same Gesoguyore, Panakandes Resana, da Sosu Ke. Penachalanda Bujina, the Yabushiran do some sosu and Zambachimbuchina. That the Tambu sosu Samne, the Chala the Munegi Yakuchin do something. That Tambuchi is on the game Mambuchin.
So as we separate, even within that very separation, not only that we have grasped to the idea of the existence of the mind, but also we feel that fixation, the existence of the outer object or phenomena.
And a decoranke bena ga mega tensu ganga change
as such, that grasping to the idea of the existence of the outer phenomena, then you try to react out of such feeling that the outer phenomena is causing you to react positive or negative, pleasure or pain, not understanding that all the outer phenomena that you are perceiving is simply mind-made, not understanding that, you totally separate that outer phenomena exists on its own. And in addition to that, one must understand that everything, outer phenomena means everything that exists is based on such, that very much projection or mind-made. In that manner, that although, as we talk, that the ultimate nature of every phenomena is shunyata or emptiness, why then outer phenomena seem to exist to us is that there is, of course, interdependence. And they seem to exist due to the interdependence, but there's not a single thing that can exist on its own without any dependence or without any interdependence.
This song is Hindu, tell a tene, then it handa te soya de semni, tenjikeba, chujukosia de tambo, then an around to the Sam Sea Giorba, Sam Sewati, Sam Koranti, then a loss to Tubaji. Bena something at the Nala, then the Julu Shata le Lasso Bega Tuba Mabachi, some Korang Ngoran, she Tomba Yimbati Kayimbati, then a church go Yimbati, each had catch and bring on Topat. Then a tell a tene, Tambuti, then a tit over the catch and bring, Nibati, then a Tanda Cherokee now and that Sama, then a Semji Randanle, then a Sharwa Yimba Mato, then a Losu semji randane losu chuba mebaji imbaji hakoya de kechenbu instin that one de lamji chagje sembu sundu that the wuki then sunzing chuba the tower table tambo tinning togu yeso.
So that based upon the path Mahamudra, according to the Doha, what it is tried to explain to us is that first, that we must understand the Dhammakaya aspect of the mind, which is the shunyata or emptiness. There's no concrete substance, a solid mind that exists. That essential nature being the emptiness, which is no difference from Dhammakaya. Then, at the same time, one must also understand that all the appearance that we perceive is also as the manifestation, very much light of your mind. It is no different from the Dhammakaya. So in that manner, in the path Mahamudra, what is it has been tried to explain to us is to understand that both our mind and that of the object that we perceive, that appearance that we see, are no different. They are essentially Dhammakaya.
Bena Naradu Kama Basumba Ranjun Dojige, Chaksin Monam Gendrabanam Sunyo Res, Hakosuma. Chönam Tamche Semji Namtrul Te, Semne Seme Semji Ngo Dong, Dongshin Manga, Jian Nawa Te, Lekbata Nishi Chuba shows. Chö Tamche Ti, Tene Bena Semji Namtrul Res, Sem Korang Ngo Ti, Tene Semne Seme Semji Ngo, Sem Korani, Sem Korangerang Ngo Dongbachres. Tell a Tene, Dongshin Manga, Jian Nawa Te. Tene bena sem korang ngoran shi tong shindu namba manga ba jian nawa di tene nawa de hakwa di tene lekburda ni shi chuba shos tene this that lamji chagje sembu tene hakwa to ba tunda tin sin sumres dikyu.
So the third Kamapa Ranjung Ripe Dorje.
Oh
sorry. The third Kamapa Ranjung Dorje explains that this very nature in the Mahamudra prayer, which is the very nature is being explained here, that all phenomena are simply the creation of the mind. And therefore, that the very essential nature of mind, the creator of phenomena, the mind itself is emptiness or shunyata. Emptiness, yet that everything is possible to appear without any obstruction. T-sets of Tinikan.
tene lekbartani shisa choba shos ti tane ta lamji chagde chimbu bena ti thanda di yang ta to ba shos ti to to ba te tene lamji chagde chimbu yin so le.
So may such realization of this come to the fruition, which is the path Mahamudra, the outer phenomena being the creation of mind. The creator, the very mind, is being the essentially nature is the emptiness, and then that emptiness is not only the cessation of everything, but that emptiness is able to again manifest without any obstruction. May such realization come into fruition, which is the path Mahamudra.
tende sungba yindu te songza tene ta lamji chagde chimbu singe ti teta buki tene sem tang tene sem korang ge ngo rang shi tongba chu ju ko tang tene langwa henji ge ba chu gu wo gu ten tok bar che ba tela tene lamji chagde chimbu sungu yore teta buki tok bar che ba la tene tangbu khang go go yosuna tene tanda sungwa dre panden la me chinlap tang rang ge lentron zomba na ngandi mi shi rango chue songare this song do tangbu khang song go yorasana teta buke sam korang ge ngo rang shi tongba tang yba chugu tang tene sam korang ta kaso kunzob ge nangwan te tamje sem ji rang dang yba ha kho ti tene tagas chene tene bete kora
that all the appearance being very much the light of the mind, therefore there is no difference, separation from that of the Dharmakaya and that mind Dharmakaya and that of the appearance or phenomena. Now, having explained that very path being such, the whole realization of that does not come through intellectual understanding. Whole realization of the mind Dharmakaya and the appearance phenomena Dharmakaya cannot come through simply with your force. It has to come through, as again it explains here, when the blessings of the Guru, glorious Guru and one's karma comes together. One realizes one's nature like meeting an old friend. In here, it explains that the blessing of the glorious Guru is very much one that has the unbroken transmission, and with the very virtue of that transmission, which is unbroken and also able to transmit upon yourself, that possibility to obtain such teaching can make you possible to realize the very Dharmakaya not through your intellectual understanding.
this song za ta pena this song yoras pandela me chinlab da rang lantun zomba na soya thi tene pena juba tan demba am tene teach gugu yores teyang tene ta juba tan demba samchi ge phengi yo mare tene lama thela tene pet khase gore tene kona kandes gugu yores na angbu ge kapsula tene theta bu ge juba tan demba akosonga tene nibe ge kapsula tene penata Jubatan Dembasidu Kansi Yorsena Tato, Takana Kajundabuti, Dorsi Chane, Chene, Tanda Pardola, then Rimbeki Juba, then Chigni, Bana Lameg, Lome, Lama Chen, Tendesma, Jubek, Parma, Chebek, Jubich, Labdan Dembachigi, then Chikatune, then Guguyores, then a Tayang, then a Jubich, Labsamji, Maimba, then a Bena. 가서오래 소수 규비 진압도 여바 난신기 되네 파로버기 로메기 듀라 되네 냠당 다 똑밤 진압도 파로버 로메기 듀라 되네 퍼뉴바지 파로버기 듀 미뉴바지 텐데지 고고요 알레스 텐데지 기 되네 라마상부기 진압 빼네 되네 또 고고요 알레 되네 대양 tene kandeji gongo yarsana rangi lentron zomba nasone te sondu tagas chene tene ken be gewe shinye yese thangmege tembala tene te ngo tubeke chabakaya yo mares akosonga tene te kango go yarsana sosuke tene charabkowa thongma mebane tanda pado sagbeke tene bena leg tene thongma mebane tanda pado njewa yobeke tene leg njewa yobeke gewe shinye jigda chene tene sosu ke tengu go yoris te sonza jumsen tela tene bena gewe shenyin la yang gewe shenyin tang tene bena rang tsawe la mas chin so so che gobe jumsen de khare resena gewe shenyin mangbu yong to gre tene gewe shenyin mangbu yong to gre gewe shenyin zane bena so so ge ma sheba khaje ina lap to gre yena yang ngone ge tsawe la mas chin ngo tsa de sik de khang la sig yo resena 전 담배게 내루 단에 착제 쳔부게 내루데 양타바 샘지 내루데 양타바 뭐땡에 될라 근데 자벨라마스 원징게 요래 대더뷰게 착제 쳔부게 내루데 근데 자벨라마도 원징거베 좀 세데 가레레스나 근데 빼나 착제 쳔부게 내루데 뭐랑기 근데 레지스 게 초여발라 때네 라메 못제바다랑게 근데 또바데 되냐바지 중토바지 용거요래 대손자 빼나 응언지게 미시랑고 초송야 된다 대송요래스.
So, in the idea of here, the blessing of the glorious Guru, as explained earlier, that you must have a Guru who has unbroken transmission. Now, it is important to explain what it means by unbroken, genuine or authentic master. One that has the unbroken transmission from very highest Vajradhara up to the present. That lineage holder or that transmission becomes quite unbroken. Therefore, this teacher is suitable. Yet, at the same time, now simply having the transmission from the Vajradhara to the present time may not sufficient. The second quality of a guru or teacher has to be is that he has the power to transmit, and he has the power to mature the seed of enlightenment in his student's mind, so to speak. He has the power to capable of introducing, transmitting the very realization of wisdom he has gained into or to his student. That becomes, with that unbroken transmission and that capacity or potential, then it becomes a genuine guru. At the same time, that we must also understand why there is always a division and separation between spiritual friend and root guru. There are many spiritual friends. Spiritual friend is someone from whom you simply learn that you do not understand, specifically anything, Dharma or so forth. Any virtuous thing that you learn from anybody that you do not know is a very much virtuous friend or spiritual friend. And therefore, that the Guru symbolizing here that it has deeper, profound meaning than simply something that you have learned from. Guru is someone who has actually introduced you to the nature of your mind, which we have talked about Mahamudra, and by the virtue of the blessing of your Guru, and with your connection to the Guru in the previous life, that you immediately really understand or realize that Mahamudra, that one who shows you to the essential nature of your mind, Mahamudra, that is root Guru. Because this is only once you have been shown, you recognize once. So since there is a root Guru, that you can have several of the spiritual friends. Now again, your capacity to recognize the Mahamudra or the essential nature of your mind comes from not only the Guru's blessing, not only from the blessing of the Guru alone. In that manner, you simply watch and let the Guru work upon you. But what is necessary is that your own karmic link, connection with such teacher is necessary in previous, and as such meets with your karmic connection and with the teacher and that of the blessing of the Guru, together, then as it is says, one realizes one's nature like a meeting an old friend. That all possibility comes into fruition with the blessing of the Guru and your karmic link to the Guru.
자자 되네 란쇼게 되네 ngandi기 미신도 랑어 트스도 되네 벳 디캅솔 디칸송고 요르스 ngandi기 미신도 랑어 트스도 ngso 되네 sar도 똑고 많이 바 코란 베나 녜만에 디카르레스나 땅아란주 샘기 네루암 데어시기 닝부티 코란 뒤도 남아건도 가라서 줄이 예버바스 디 인도 디 코란게 베나 녜만 민고시 바나신게 되네 나신게 되네 트스 토요소 레스 틱틱 토ላት
So again, the whole meaning here is one realizes one's nature like meeting an old friend is that with that connections with the Guru and with the Guru's blessing, recognizing your own ultimate nature of mind is not new thing that you have recognized. It's something that has been there from the beginningless time. So since it has been there from the beginningless time, it's like meeting an old friend, not a new friend.
Tena shingi tene otene ngandigi mishindo rango chwene te sonzan yindu tene te sonres she mangbu kaname sonres te sonzan yindu te tene tatabu ki semji nelu de ngochwe ba ti she mangbu kaname sedu se kona gi sheba zamjil tene yungu me sonare dan doder 하고 송아 셰셰 멍부카나메 스타트 인지나 간데 줄이나 마시 근데 시코랑게 셰바 코나를 때네 연구메스 근데 원내기 근데 전담백에 내놓아 셈지 내놓도 어째바도 간을 때네 연구요라서나 근데 식점지만 임바
realization of the Mahamudra.
no did 간데 줄인도 되고
There's no point in much talk.
no point say at 간시간 미시 매제당게 전담백에 내놓도 셰 시코라 셰 코나를 때네 연구메스
So as explains here that simply talking upon such will not lead you to the realization of Mahamudra. What is really necessary to come to the realization of Mahamudra is to the meeting of the blessing of the Guru and that of the karmic connection yourself with the Guru together can bring the fruition of Mahamudra.
This indu tene pena ta jubegi chinlapti tene pena ta lamegi ngotreba tang teda nyamdula tene jubegi lamegi tujugi tokbegi chinlapti ni shubala tene ngotrebu yores ta
So it has to be really recognized, come to the fruition with the Guru introducing you the very nature of mind and that of transmitting the blessing and your connection to the Guru lead you to realization of Mahamudra.
te indu tetabu ki tene tetabu ki chinlapti tuju tokbe chinlap shubba tela kangogo yorasena le thangbo pala khanya gosu yandres le thangbo pala khanya gosu yad khansungo yorasena tene tetabu ki tuju tokbe ki chinlap shubba tela tene zo thangbo shenbe ki chanju ki semrombu che gomgogo yores tene shenbe chanju ki semrombu che gombala tene tene shenla penada pena lunga yisum tene shenla pemba drubala sobegene gwa drubata ta chosa dribajam tene tinju goyo res chosa dribja tene sagwar tu tene dadana ngaran zoge chagje chembyogi kapsungba nanshinki tene myogu gomji ngota tene shenlo gomji kangbata ta tinju sangma tene zo tene lodo namba shela sobege la tene ta lodo namba shela sobala tene sosuge ta chula ta pena changgo yores kaya gos tene tendel tene gugu yore tene tigugu yore sunda.
So again that as it goes that but the beginner needs various things. The reason the various here is that as a beginner in order to come to again realization that the various things that one needs are that again practice meditation of the development or cultivation of bodhicitta, altruistic mind, loving kindness and compassion. And in addition to that, as a beginner, the various things refer to again accumulation of merit through various means, such as again practicing the 7-point mind training, the 4 ordinary foundation, 4 special foundation, and all those are particularly speaking that in the Mahamudra prayer, which explains that the revulsion is the lake of Mahamudra or meditation, and that of the devotion is very much like the head of the meditation, as it explains in the Mahamudra prayer, that it similarly, that the various things, here referring to that one should try to abandon every sort of hope and fears.
Tendes chene, tene le tangbo pala, tene pena kanya goes chene sumbares, tene tig tone guguyore, tene ta tin sone, tene ta ngone ke, tene ta tine sone ta tanda ngoma de kanal tubaresena, tene ta til tubares. Ta zo ti ta tangbo til tubare, tene 신el tubares ta 하고 소마 tene 신el tuba indu ta 도건테 샤나 말에 단다
신일 레드레스
다산이 내 손데 당원에게 딱 검정 없는데 신이다 방동 되는 마도 시에게요래 대손자 인도 되네 도건테 샤 되네 산이 간도 신일 투버래 대손자 네 신의 돈을 마시스 봐 다 도건테 안서 좋아한다 이는.
So tonight we have touched briefly upon the general needs, requirements of the what is Mahamudra and how to come into realization. And from tomorrow onwards, then I'll be explaining more on the real path. The actual or the principal path of Mahamudra, which is Shamatha and Vipassana, which is the Mahamudra Vipassana and Mahamudra Shamatha, which I'll speak tomorrow, beginning with Mahamudra Shamatha and Mahamudra Vipassana, and tonight we should have some questions now.